Hi, this is Anathea, your divine feminine educator, and I am here with Jillian. And she's going to be sharing an amazing story about her journey with breast implants. So Jillian, thank you so much for being here
Thank
today and
you.
willing to share your story and answer any questions that I may have about what you went through. So
Yeah.
Jillian is not an online person. I mean, she's a young woman, so she's definitely online, but she isn't marketing anything or selling any courses or anything like that. She just came to one of my new moon circles. It was actually new moon in Pisces, and we were talking
Yeah.
about self-love, right? And the higher vibration of love. And what she shared in the circle really deeply touched my heart. And in that circle, then I asked her if she'd be willing to come back and do an interview with me. So Jillian, do you remember how that was? I forget how it was, but it was so profound how you came out and shared, this is what is, I mean, do you remember that moment when you shared in the circle what exactly what you said or something similar to what you said?
I have a lot of the feeling, but when it just starts flowing, I typically kind of don't remember word for word, but it definitely was my big spark for going deeper in my self-love journey. That was my spark. I was just at a point where I was so sick and I didn't know why. And when we realized it was my implants and went on that journey, it just keeps blossoming more and more, and yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So go ahead and for our listeners, tell us this
Okay.
kind of just we'll dive deeper into it, but just kind of
Mhm.
beginning to end quick story of what actually happened, and then we'll go through a little bit
Yeah,
different
of
parts.
course. So I was a senior in college, and as a young girl, I always thought having big breasts made you beautiful. It was just something I thought, would make me feel more whole and complete. And so for my senior gift to myself, I over winter break decided to go ahead with breast implants, and I thought I was doing it the right way. I was told that they were the safest on the market. I asked if I'd be able to breastfeed, if I ever had to get them replaced. I thought I did my research that they tell you to do, and I found a great surgeon and this and that. And um, shortly after, maybe 3 months after getting them, I started having anxiety attacks. I started going through a really deep, dark depression. I almost dropped out of college. My last semester, it was that extreme. I was a straight A student, and for me to question if I wanted to finish up school, um, then, it took until the third year that I was really, truly sick to ever consider they were my implants. So I never, I would just start going on my day to days, but I started noticing my skin was changing, my diets, like things were starting to upset my belly a lot more. I always had an upset stomach. I never had a little TMI, but never had like a solid poop or little things, but the doctors could never tell me why. Maybe it's stress, maybe it's this, maybe it's I didn't have the greatest of boyfriend relationships at the time. So maybe it's that, I'm like, oh, you're right. I work a lot. My diet's not the best. Always thought, but it took what my iPad's falling, slipping out of the holder. It took, let me see. I went, I think 1 year, it was $20,000 in medical testing alone. I'm a post grad student trying to figure out why I'm sick. I got tested for Lyme disease, MS. I had brain scans. I was rushing myself to the hospital just in these panic attacks. Like I lived alone. I was trying to be right after college, take care of myself and do what I'm supposed to, but I was always so sick and I was so tired, and I'd be driving and forget where I was going. And I would say, guys, like my friends, none of them had implants. So I'm starting to battle, I'm going to a doctor who's referring me to a psychologist, and I'm having these like thinking if I'm crazy, and I'm like, I'm not crazy. Like, I don't feel well, but my blood test came back normal and this came back normal and everything's coming back normal. And I was like, I don't feel normal. I am not well. I don't remember where I'm going when I'm driving. Like, why am I getting dumber as I'm aging? I'm a bright person. And even I'll show you the photo because it just, a lot of women, still you share your story and they still choose to get the implant or keep them in. But so here's a picture. The one on the, I don't know what it'll say, but you can tell the one where I look really ill, that, I don't know how the glare is. But
Oh my
those are
gosh, honey.
4 months apart about. I have no makeup on in either. The one was the morning of my surgery with my implants. And I've showed these pictures and women are like, oh, like that picture alone, it's just, when I really started, I called my dad and it's the hardest call I ever did. And I really, when I got the call, because I thought I convinced myself enough that maybe I have MS, it explains my body fatigue. I'm so tired. It could have been. But when I got the call that I was normal, it almost was like I wanted something to be wrong with me for someone to believe me.
Mm.
And I called my dad and I was like, Dad, I can't do this anymore. Like, I don't want to, I can't live this sick. And I remember just giving up. I just wanted, but something higher than me was like, it's not time, And my dad called me shortly after one day and, have you ever considered it was your implants? And I'm like, well, no, I hadn't, I hadn't. So I found this Facebook group. It's called Healing Breast Implant Illness. It's a woman named Nicole who started this group. And when I first joined, it was maybe about 80,000 women. And we're all just vulnerably sharing their story. And I remember reading all the symptoms and I just cried because I knew that's what was making me sick. And so I did my research, and there's some surgeons, you have to believe in yourself, because I had a surgeon look me in the face and tell me I'm making it up and it's not a thing and there's not enough science, because what it does is undermines this whole practice. Here's a girl coming in saying I'm sick to a man who puts implant, because that's what and it might not be a conscious matter where he knows he's injuring women, but he is. And he didn't want to face it, so he shushed me away. And then I had another woman, they have to do this operation in a very intricate, experienced manner to get this capsule that forms around the implant. You don't want that to be opened inside of your body, because that's what your body creates to protect your vital organs from these chemicals. And so I had another hospital. I remember meeting her, and she was really nice and sweet. But I sat in the truck and I'm like, she wasn't going to give me my implants back. And I remember the group saying, you need them and you need the full capsule taken out. And she said she couldn't do that either. And it just didn't sit right. So I typed up a doc, I was 22 at the time, figuring all of this out. And I had my mom at the beginning. She didn't want me to get the implants in either. So I really battled an internal battle of like, told you so, but love yourself. Here we are. You got to do this. And I typed up a document just saying, like, legally, I want these, yada, yada. I want the implants back, exactly outlined what I want. And the hospital called me the next few days after and canceled my surgery date. They didn't want to go ahead with me because what I was asking for.
For the removal or for the in? Are you talking about putting in?
I wanted the removal. Like, she wouldn't legally write that she would do the surgery in the manner I wanted, because a lot of surgeons will keep the capsule.
Because they may have not taken it out properly, or
exactly
ruptured in the process.
There is a very high risk. So you need a skilled surgeon. So God sent me Dr. George Chatston. He's highly renowned in my area. And he took my implants out. And I remember just crying. The first thing I said when I woke up from my surgery was, oh, I can breathe. I couldn't even go up a flight of stairs when I had them in without being winded. Now I'm a athletic person. I worked out, but I couldn't even breathe before. And that was just when the journey kind of began, because I started researching what these implants are made out of. And if somebody has to wear a full hazmat suit to create this object that you're going to put in your body, that was a red flag. That was like, oh my goodness. And it just, the more I dug into it, I found this really amazing all natural kind of healing seminar. Just kind of fell into my lap. And I went and I got this scan done. And I remember the guy looking at me. It reads like your vectors in your body, kind of, there's emotional vectors, just kind of a different route. I was never really, I went always the systematic doctor approach. So I was kind of opening up to healing modalities. And I remember him looking at me just saying, "You're so lucky to be alive right now. Your body is so toxically sick." And I just started crying because I was like, I knew, but I hadn't had somebody like hold me and know too.
This is
And
after you
so,
got the implants removed?
yeah, yep. So it's been about a year and a half now without them in. I've had to just completely cut out any processed foods, anything. It just really opened up my mind though of how much processed stuff is in our foods, in our being. That it just, I'm like, sometimes I'm at a loss for words of how much I've gone through in the past year and a half of just getting them out. And just, I had physical therapy, it affected my muscles. I've had like kind of these big holes that were once there. So I do now do a lot of self feminine love because I had to just give back that love and heal the ultimate reason originally why I got them in. I didn't
Are
like
you
who
familiar with breast massage?
I think intuitively I am now. So another part I haven't shared is my left arm was paralyzed the day I was born. It was a malpractice kind of, it's called the shoulder dystocia. So at birth, my left arm was injured and it's been paralyzed my whole life. So I've gone through that ringer of, self-esteem issues, bullying, that different understanding. So that definitely was another reason why I thought implants would make me feel like a feminine woman.
Right.
Oh, that was all ego. It's a lot of ego ways. And, oh, yeah, it's been a journey. And every woman that just shares their stories in the group, it's just, my heart breaks for them because I know what it feels like.
Why do
Then
you
my heart breaks.
why do you think some women can have them for years and it doesn't affect them at all, and other women it's like a
Yeah.
disaster? What have you
Great question.
seen
So,
from your vantage point?
It depends on your body. So I know I get that a lot of women, I have them and I'm fine. I have no symptoms yet, or that you are aware of. We all kind of consider natural aging, I'm just getting older. It's not necessarily the factual, you shouldn't start feeling so awful as you get older. And they're like a ticking time bomb, essentially. A lot of the women's have had mold in theirs that come out. They've been ruptured. I found out after mine came out that the FDA required you to be 22 years of age to get them in. I was only 21, and I found out they've been banned and recalled. So to find out that I have these devices in me that aren't even on the market, I wanted to rip them off me. I was so scared, but there's different tests you can do. So if you have a certain gene, it's like the MTHR. I might be missing a letter or so, but it's a certain gene. So some women, and I didn't get the test done myself, but I'm almost certain I'm just hypersensitive to chemicals.
Yeah.
And so my body just quickly responded. I can't even take like hormonal birth controls or stuff like that. I'm very sensitive. So my body just quick deteriorated, and I'm blessed for that because I got them out sooner.
Yeah. Well, so you had them in for 4 years?
Almost. It was, I think, about 3. I got them in 2016, so the January of 2016, and they came out August of 2019. So about 3.5 years.
And immediately you started getting better then?
Immediate. My eyes changed, my face glows, like my hair stopped falling out, my skin cleared right up. I mean, it's a lot of healing too. I changed my diet and put a lot more love into my intentions and stuff.
Yeah. And so where did you learn that they have to be made with a hazmat suit on? Even the saline? Was this a saline or was this a silicone?
So a lot of the women share different articles they find. And I personally am in a lawsuit against the company. It was a Class A lawsuit I filed with hundreds of other women. And just the more that we've discovered, like the FDA's had factual information about linkages of women and illnesses and different, that it's just, when you're a big, powerful corporation, you can kind of shush information. And I think it's courageous for women to come up and openly share, because it's, the more we speak out about like what they are illegally allowing and playing on our emotions and our vulnerabilities, like, I don't think one set of breasts are ugly. I think they've played on our psyche of this is saggy and that needs to be tightened and that doesn't look great. Well, that's just in your psyche. So of course you're going to believe that. And then they're also going to sell you the same thing to fix it. But the same thing to fix my issues cost me, I'm still paying off. I've been sent to collections for some of my medical bills because I couldn't afford it. I just was drowning in all these bills because I couldn't figure out what was wrong with me, but no one could. So it was just like test after test after test. And I was just,
you paid people a lot of money to tell you that you're crazy.
Yeah. I even got told I had borderline personality at one point.
Horrible. See, this is the sadness about it.
I just remember that little girl I was, so scared and looking for answers, but I had them inside me all along. I hadn't learned how to tap into that and just really trust that I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable how sick they really can make a person. And my heart breaks now because I know women in my life personally that they had breast cancer, and she got her implants in, and I recently found out she now has stage 4 cancer, and she's given a few months left to live. And I keep, have you ever thought maybe it's your implants? And maybe it's your implants. Nope. And it breaks my heart because I can't change her mind.
Even though she witnessed what you've gone through.
But she doesn't want to believe it for herself. And that's her journey and her path. But if I can just share I had a friend that wanted to get implants. And I think sharing my story and just being so openly authentic, like if you want to see my scars authentic, sure. I don't think she will, and that just, because that's the trickle effect. If she doesn't, maybe her daughter won't, and maybe her grandbabies won't. Because I know my grandkids and my babies, I hope they won't. I can't control, but if I can share, it's different. They're just chemicals. It's thousands of chemicals. When you really look at the ingredients, which I didn't do, I was, excited. I'm getting big boobs, and I went to the doctor, and I remember them jumping on the implant. It's not going to pop and you're good to go. Okay, well.
And were they the bigger size, or were they medium, or what size were they? What size did they encourage you to get?
So they were really good in that sense. I got the new brand. It's the gummy bears. They've been told are the safest. They're not. They're one of the most potent. And so I think they sized me so it was the biggest I could go for my body frame. So one was 290 cc's and the other was 365. So I was like a double D, kind of like a big D. So
you were pretty busty afterwards then.
Yeah, but they fit the frame so it didn't look crazy. But I did have, so because my left arm is paralyzed, I don't have the same muscle build. So one of the implants, I had capsule contracture. And so what that is the implant rose, and then the capsule hardened a little around it. So I went, and I remember going back to the first surgeon. I put them in, and I was like, listen, I never noticed it, but my coworker kind of pointed it out to me. Now I can't stop staring at it. She said, this boob's way higher. And it was. And his recommendation after the first time, these are the boobs that are going to be perfect for your body. They're even, this boob was a little bit bigger before. Told that whole runaround that these are the boob sizes you need. He quoted me another $3,000 to experimentally put in either a bigger implant or a smaller implant on either boob to try to even out the look. Never told me at that time it was a muscle contracture.
How did you find that out later that it was?
When I got them out. When I had the actual surgeon that truly looked at me and told me he believed in me and believed in breast implant illness and took them out.
Oh.
I had grade 4 and a grade 3 contracture, which are the high. The grade 4 is the highest.
So it's the contracture that actually caused it then? Or
It's
that's
the
your
body's
body's reaction saying no,
Yeah.
no.
A lot of it, yeah. But the chemicals were already in. So when I had my hair sent off for analysis, it like, on the surface, I looked different. But then when you go to the cellular level, it affected my endocrine system. It affected my brain. It affected my heart. I was having palpitations. Like I didn't really have a sex drive either, which is, you're a young woman. I had nothing, no libido. I had just like this doomy kind of bleh feeling all the time. And I thought it was my normal because it became my normal.
Right.
But I just hit a point where I couldn't do it anymore.
I'm so glad you got him out, that it was your
too.
father that's actually he helped you realize that that's what it was, right?
My mind. Yeah, he opened
Oh,
my
so
mind.
did you have the saline or the silicone? Are those the only two types that are available, or?
Yes, but the gummy bear were the new. So it's
what's in gummy bear though? What's in the gummy bear?
So picture like an actual gummy bear, like the chewy, like if you bite the head off, everything else stays.
Oh, so it's all like thick, but it's smushy.
That.
Thick but smushy. And what's in that?
Oh, I wish I had the list still.
Well, that's okay.
Just thousands of chemicals. If anyone the actual chemicals in an implant, it's not fruits and vegetables like we should be filling our bodies with.
Right.
To say, no, it's just poison.
And then you're saying that all of them are being made with hazmat suits, or just the gummy ones are being made with hazmat?
The articles that I saw of like the research and stuff that I had found, the workers making those implants were in hazmat suits. So it's just kind of like the picture, just help me paint my picture of, are these truly, truly safe like they say they are to be in my body?
So your heart must have stopped when you read that.
The last few years I've gone very internal and spent a lot of alone time, just loving what I didn't know then and what I know now. Just kind of like holding that space for myself and not getting stuck and trapped in that, like, beat myself up, you shouldn't be, because I didn't know. And I was trusting in the people that were in my life that, you go to a healthcare provider and they're giving you what they know. And I don't think it was ever a malicious doing, but I don't think there's enough light shed on the poison that we actually subject our bodies to fulfill these ego kind of psyche, like contortions that we think is beautiful. I don't think it's beautiful to have implants anymore, because I know how sick you are on the inside to get them.
Right.
When you get them, I know what's happening. Like I look at and just want to hold space with you. I'll never judge it. I hope people can get to that point where, why do I really want these? Because when I look back, I don't think it was really me that wanted the implants. It's because the circle around me. I remember a boy once told me my boobs were cute, and I hated that. I didn't want to be cute. It just started at a young age, but I didn't really believe what was beautiful, and I had to find out the hard way.
So what size breasts did you have before you had the implants? Were you really tiny?
Like little, probably like A's. I couldn't even tell you what size I am now, because I don't really wear bras anymore, because they're different. They're slowly coming back to their shape, but just picture a huge 360 kind of ball that was once there. Your body it's honestly given me such a perspective of how amazing the human body really is, and how much like infinite, limitless abilities we have
You know what I want to gift you, and we'll do this after we stop recording. I want to show you some breast massages.
Yeah, thank you.
And yeah, because I know my own journey. I had pain in I have very tiny breasts. You can't see it with it. I have very tiny breasts, and that's the way they've been all my life, and it's okay.
Yeah,
it's okay.
I love mine more now than I ever could imagine, because I don't look at myself like there's something wrong. It's just everyone's meant to look different.
Yes,
it's beauty of it.
Yes,
and they want to play on that, and now I'm at the point where you will not make a profit off of my injuries or my vulnerabilities.
And this is an interesting point that you said that, the people that you actually directly dealt with, they weren't doing it with malicious intent at all.
No.
They just have the information that they have, and you're the innocent victim.
Yeah. But the hard part is when victims, and it's not just the scenario, but when victims speak out, it typically tends to be like, oops, shut, nope, don't don't shake it up, don't bring light to things. But the more we do speak light to it, and I can understand and hold compassion, I'm not angry at my first surgeon that put them in, because I went to him and he did the service that I asked him to do.
Right.
But if, as a society and a collective, we can raise the awareness that, people are going to do what, they will. I'm not like naive in the sense where I think they'll just ban them and everyone won't. They'll find ways, but maybe bring light to like these chemicals or alternatives, or maybe if you have women coming to that want these, maybe there's a different route. We can do more feminine loving and more other coaching methods. And after, if you still want them, then go down that path. But I was a young 21-year-old with 15,000 in my hand, and I was getting my boobs and no one was telling me not, and it was a very expensive lesson. Let me tell you, luckily my insurance did cover the explant, but I mean, it was still, overall, it was about a little over $20,000 to get them in and out.
Wow.
It's just, what I could do with that money,
Yeah. Well, but this is maybe part, like when you find yourself beating yourself up, this is part of your soul's purpose, part of your soul's journey. It's making you who you are today,
Yeah. And that's what I remind myself, I do typically am a person that likes to learn things the harder way. I just, I like the wisdom to come with it, but it's just shifted my look on a lot of, my heart breaks for the girls in my generation growing up. We have filters, even like Snapchat, that growing, it already changes your face. So we already have these filters where we're already not seeing ourselves fully authentically. That's affecting your psyche.
Right.
That's deeper than we even see it.
Right.
And I worked with at Boston Children's Hospital. I did an internship with their inpatient psychiatric unit. So I've always kind of been led up to understanding, when I have little girls that wanted to end their life, and it's because they want so many followers, because that's what they believe, it's deeper, we're not meant deeper. It's all part of my journey. But
have you ever thought of writing a book about this? And it doesn't have to be a big, long book, just a small book, even an ebook. It's easy to put it online.
I think I've had that shift within myself where I'm ready to not hold myself back. I was good at that. So just kind of slowly finding those little ways of reaching out. And
what I find interesting that I'm just realizing right now, it's your left arm, right? That's paralyzed. Your feminine
my
side.
Whole feminine. Yeah. I've had a lot of attacks on it, because I think there's, a big future for everybody. And when you can start tapping into it, I also look and see those attacks that tried to hold me back from it too. So that push and pull. And I've done a lot of feminine healing because I had such a wounding around my sacred feminine, and loving myself in a manner where I could give and receive sacred feminine love, and I've had those shifts. But I look back and I'm like, oh, honey.
I think we're all in it. I think we're all, look at, I'm an older woman. It's all about outer beauty, but what I teach is that it's your inner beauty that men are attracted to. It's your radiance. It's your energy.
It's your energy.
And you are over the top gorgeous young lady. You are bright and beautiful, But
Thank
that
you.
outer beauty fades. It's the inner
It does.
beauty that we really need to be cultivating and developing. So what
Yeah.
do you want to say to a woman that's considering implants?
Please don't.
Let's
You
say
know.
that you just were like, at a cocktail party or something like that, and this woman says, "Oh, I'm really thinking," and you're having an intimate conversation with her, just the two of you.
Yeah.
I mean, if you
Okay.
didn't have a lot of time to say, what would you want to say to her most?
Yeah, and I've had these conversations with so many women, and I even was a waitress, so I just at times I got called and I even just wrote the website down and just gave it to women because I can tell when you have breast implants. It's called breast implant face, and I can tell. I know when you have fake implants. It's just you don't radiate the way. It's just like this girl, that's breast implant face. It's just sad. There's something, but that side, it's just your eyes.
Wow.
It's just, I first, like, I just would hug them and just like, get to the root of, because usually it's not, a lot of the women I've talked with, it's my boyfriend wants big boobs, or my friends have big boobs, or, well, I don't like my boobs because so and so, or, Hollywood, we see it bombarded with what is beautiful. So I've accepted to a point where I can provide the information and the resources and just share my story. That's what kind of I go to is I'm not here to tell you what to do. Because usually when you tell someone what to do, they do the opposite anyway. So
Right.
I'm not going
The
to waste
younger
that.
they are, the more they'll do just the opposite, kind
And
of.
I did it myself, but I just, like, why do you want them? Truly, why? And if it's because you don't feel like you're good enough where you're at, start there and journal about that. Don't go to that quick botched extreme where you are cutting yourself open and allowing some other item to go inside that, if already within you isn't feeling enough, this other object that they put in you isn't going to help either. Know about chakras before I got them in. I didn't know anything.
This is
And
your
now that
love
they're
center.
out,
This is your
it was
love
my hot
chakra.
chart. It was, and it explains a lot of my behavior. And I didn't understand why I was attracting in like some toxic relationships or, people that just weren't really where I'm resonating now, just like these repeating cycles. And well, I didn't do that internal work and I was blocked here. I couldn't receive love. I couldn't give love to what love, the ability of love, really is. It was ego. It was, I remember picking at myself, or this isn't perfect, or, it's just,
Right.
that's not why we're here. It's
Well,
really
what?
not.
Because I'm quite a few years ahead of you, I had all the body image issues. I had food issues. Somehow I
Yeah.
loved my breasts. Somehow I would
Good.
never have considered. So I don't know why, but I mean, I have a whole other breast story journey for myself, but somehow I just would never buy into that because it was just too much appeasing the man and his how they're visually
Yeah.
oriented. And
Yeah.
I felt I had
Yeah.
other parts. I had a beautiful butt, and
Yeah.
long
Yeah.
legs, but
Yeah.
it's still,
Yeah.
it was like, I'm not going to go hurt my body for
Yeah.
to be visually pleasurable to somebody else. And now I'm forgetting what I
Yeah.
was going to what I was going to share with you. What was I just saying? Oh my God. I hate when
I know it's like when you get in the
so
yeah.
this older thing, this body image and food issues, and just, I know what you're talking about, the picking and nothing's
Yeah.
ever perfect. And my thighs, my legs
Just
were long, but they were too thick. And and then finally I got to a point where it was like, I mean, this is years and years and years, like
years. Yeah.
maybe
It doesn't
in my
happen overnight.
40s. Maybe in my 40s, it
Yeah.
was like, Anna, your body is getting older. When are you,
Yeah.
no matter what you do, your body is getting older. When are you going to finally love her?
Yeah.
It's like an
Yeah. Oh, I
uphill,
got
it's
chills.
an
Yeah.
inevitable uphill battle.
Yeah.
You know, that
Yeah, I got
perfection,
this.
you're never going to reach the perfection
There's no
because
such thing.
there is no such thing. And your body is just
Yeah.
is aging. And finally it was like, oh, and it was almost like a permission for me to start to
Mhm.
truly love myself. See, what you've been through has given you permission to love
Mhm.
yourself just the
Yeah.
way you are.
Yeah.
And actually
Yeah.
the
It's like I
necessity.
didn't. Yeah, I really didn't. I let what others said, I let that be what I believed. And I took it on, and it just, when you can really just start, it like you said, it does not happen overnight. So like if anyone, watching this, baby steps, like I even catch it. I just catch myself sometimes. I'm just, sitting, or when I'm brushing my teeth, 2 minutes, right? A lot of times you can just be unconsciously like, oh, but I just started little things like a 2 minute brushing my teeth, and I'm presently there those 2 minutes. I feel my feet on the ground and I reconnect in, and I'm like, oh, I love you. Like it's me and this body for the rest of my journey. So I either can make it harder on myself or partner up with her and love her. And
Oh,
it opens like different, it just opened a realm that I hope a lot of other women can get to. At the end of the day, you're the one sitting with yourself.
yeah.
It's up to you to do the work and to just start soft and easy and just little moments, little things, and because I hated, I really hated my arm. I was really angry that it happened. I was mad at all the bullies. I was mad at the surgeries I didn't have a choice over. I didn't know I was so mad until I got my boobs out. And I had to sit with all of that crap that I've been carrying for years, and to just be able to give myself permission to feel it, because it happened, feel that, but then let it just stay there and just keep, working on it, because that's ultimately why I got my boobs. I thought
See,
I
and
would
so
feel,
for other women, it's not because of their arm, but it's some other thing.
something else. It's something
Yeah.
else. Yep.
Yes. That they're
And we
not
all have
looking
it.
at, that they're not looking at. Yeah.
If you can fix it with some, like for me, if I can, distract myself from my arm and get the boobs that I've always wanted, then I'll be better. Yeah,
So
sure. Maybe
what
for
kind of relationship do you have with your boobs right now?
I love them. I think they're beautiful. I am so grateful I don't have implants in. They don't feel real. The implant, they were just these hard balls that I didn't ever feel fully right. But now I'm like, I don't really have to wear a bra anymore. I can wear whatever top I want. Yeah, I have 4 scars underneath, but I don't care. I really, I don't care. I feel good in my skin, and I'm healthy in my skin. I'm honoring and nourishing and fueling my body with food, and like healthy whole foods, not the next fix,
Yeah.
chasing after,
Right.
chasing the bacon kind of, mentality. I
So
still have
what
my moment. I'm still young, and, you know, but
what are you focusing on now in your healing journey currently right now? Like you mentioned the brushing of the teeth and the feeling of the soles of your feet. What is your main focus in your journey right now of healing yourself?
so I drove quick. I'm now working towards, be my master's in Reiki will be my next step. I do a lot of my own personal healing kind of modalities. I'm into yoga now, stretching,
Oh my God,
fascia.
honey, that's
I
beautiful.
see a chiropractor. I do a lot of dancing. Dancing helps me just, I'm such a divine feminine energy being that I didn't realize. So when I feel tense in any way, I just dance. I don't care who's around me, who's watching. I just dance, and it's contagious. And if you can just, boogie, it's just, that helps a lot too. And just not take things so serious. I got so sucked into that, like, go, 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 work, 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 be so serious. It's like, well, I'll get there. We're all walking towards the same place.
Exactly. It sounded like you had to do a lot of growing up really quick.
Oh, yeah.
Quickly. Yeah. A
Oh,
lot of
yeah.
emotional growing up really quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a lot, even, and then that's a whole nother realm of like, are you able to honor your emotions? What is your connection with your emotions? And did you grow up in an environment that fostered healthy expression of your emotions? Which I know a lot of people in my present life, their generation, you don't cry,
Right.
and so just holding space for yourself and honoring it, because that's where a lot of that healing really, it's the healing for yourself, and you go through that journey. Those, you have your guides and your teachers, but you walk that journey yourself. And when you can just sit with yourself and just like, what happened in the past happened, what's coming is coming, but you don't have to worry about that. Just like be in this moment and just,
Be on a sacred
it's taken a long
journey.
time. But
That's the feminine, is trusting in the process. So, well, Jillian, thank you so much for sharing this. Is there anything else before we close up? Is there anything else that we didn't talk about that still you'd like to share with the people that are listening about this? Anything else that you want to say before we
I know, I feel like we tapped into a lot. That was beautiful. I'll leave it at that. If anyone has questions or wants the group, I can email that over to you for the more resources if they're ever contemplating implants or have implants. I know if you have them and then you find out all this information, it can be kind of scary. And, just if you're okay, you will be okay. And just, trust yourself and honor yourself, really. Trust your intuition.
And so that's another thing. Some people can have just standard mild symptoms, and they don't even relate it to this at all. Like just tired all the time.
Yeah. It's
or
not
maybe
normal.
anxiety. Are those the
normal.
two main symptoms, or what would you say?
Yeah. And a lot of the women are like, say 20 years after having the implants, when they're like maybe in their 50s, a lot of them I've seen diagnosed with autoimmune diseases, or Hashimoto's has been a big one. A lot of the women, a lot of skin rashes, skin disorders, anxiety and depression are like, I think hands down everyone diagnosed, which I think is becoming a big overdiagnosis in today's society. A lot of people are, it's just like, oh, you have anxiety. I remember going in for my physical, just a physical, you talk to me for 5 minutes and here's a pill, so I think there's a lot of, it's difficult. There's a lot of cross symptoms and this and that, but fatigue was huge for me.
It's sneaky. It's sneaky.
Very
because it's been so accepted and normal in our society, even supported,
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, I went from a girl laying on the couch thinking I was on my deathbed to now I'm like so energetic and I don't drink coffee. I'm the one person at work that doesn't drink coffee and I have the most energy. It's
because your love center is open.
Yes.
This area of your body holds joy for no reason. It holds joy for no reason. That's the energetic of this area. Joy for no reason. When was the last time people felt joy for no reason?
Just for fun. And then when you are, people are like, what do you want? I'm like, it's fun. Just do it. It's fun. Just be,
Oh my gosh. Oh, Jillian, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And for those that are listening, Jillian, we're going to stay on and I'm going to show you some breast massage things that you can do, which will be really beautiful. I'm not going to do it. And I know people listening are probably thinking, oh, why can't you stay on and show us? Because it's intimate. I'm not just going to blast it all over. And it's our breasts and they're our precious center. But eventually, I want to do this soon. Either I'll offer a class on breast massage, or you can have a private session on breast massage. Or I'm thinking of eventually I'm going to get to it, is have an actual online course with breast massage. But what's interesting is because I have the word breasts, I think, on my website, I'm kind of tagged, like I can't do normal advertising. I can't do normal advertising because it's in the sex realm. Crazy stuff. So actually, that's a good request for me to people that are listening. If you really enjoyed this information, please share it with your girlfriend, your mother, your daughter, your sister.
Because it's all from love. And that's what I say when I share my story or I make a comment. If you have implants, it's truly from the bottom of my heart, from love. There's no other motive. It's just
Well,
I've
you're
been
not,
there.
you're a 9 of diamonds. The 9 of diamonds is the good giver. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well,
See.
thank you, Jillian. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone, for being here.
Bye.
Jillian and I were doing breast massage, and we started talking. We started touching our breasts together, and then when I don't know what brought it up, but then Jillian mentioned how while she had the breast, she had no sensitivity there. So Jillian, share your story, what you just told me.
Yeah. So, well, we're doing our breast massages, and I just kind of was like, well, I just forgot to share is when I had my implants in, I couldn't feel my left breast anymore. Like I had no sensation. It was just like a numb. It's weird when you can't feel something, but it's there kind of feeling. And it definitely affected my sex life. It changes your libido. It's good to have my nipple feelings back.
Yeah. I mean, this is your erogenous zone.
Yeah. It just disconnected you. Now the feelings and the sensations are all coming back, but you kind of take that for granted, I guess, now that they're back. When I lost it, having it back, I was like, took that for granted. It's weird
Yeah, and
to
that's
have a
part
boob.
of our sexual response system too. And so you were saying how women may look sexy, but they're not sexual or sensual because it's
Yeah.
numbed. Actually, you know what, when they cut into this area, also even bras will do it, is it cuts off all the nerve endings to your nipples and your breast tissue. And
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's all we wanted to add, right?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks for listening, everybody.